True or false, the air we breathe in today is cleaner than the air we breathed in the 1970s?
False.
True or false, the air we breathe in today is cleaner than the air we breathed in the 1960s?
False.
Why do you think that?
Because there's more machinery and all of that kind of stuff now.
False? I don't know. I'm going to go with true.
And why do you think that?
Everyone else just said false, so I'm going to be an outlier.
True.
And why do you think that?
I have no clue. It's just true.
False.
True.
And why do you think that?
Because back in the day, they had like more dust storms or something like that. You know, like tornadoes.
Would you believe that the air we breathe today is much cleaner than it was 50 years ago? According to the Environmental Protection Agency, also known as the EPA, the air we breathe is 70% cleaner than it was in 1960. The Clean Air Act of 1970, signed into law by President Nixon, includes the continued reduction of emissions for automobiles and other polluting sources. Students in Miss Littlejohn's AP Environmental Science class recently tested the emissions of automobiles in the school parking lot.
So we're testing two cars today. We're testing a 2013 BMW and a 2003 BMW. And the hypothesis is that the 2013 model is going to have a better emissions. And the process is we're basically putting a bag on the vehicle exhaust and cupping it so that we can collect the exhaust in a bag like this right here.
Miss Littlejohn's goal was to illustrate how auto emissions have improved over the years.
The purpose is to compare carbon dioxide emissions of different vehicles. And so the students decide which two vehicles that they want to compare based on the student vehicles we have available for the class. So they might be testing an older versus a newer car, similar model, or an SUV compared to a smaller, or maybe a more expensive car compared to a lesser expensive car.
The exhaust that was collected in the bags was taken back to the classroom for testing. By mixing the exhaust with a chemical solution, students were able to measure the level of pollution.
We were testing the CO2 concentrations in car exhaust, and we learned that really old BMWs are pretty bad when it comes to CO2 emissions, and new cars are a lot better.
The purpose was to test the CO2 emissions of vehicles, and I learned that the older cars had more CO2 emissions and the newer ones had less, probably because of the laws based on the newer cars that require them to have cleaner burning fuels.
I learned that with exhaust comes many things and that every car is different.
All cars are different in the emissions that they put out into the environment, so we're just kind of studying that in order to pass this AP exam.
If you had grown up in the 1950s or 60s, you would see the dramatic difference in air quality between then and now. Smog alerts were common in cities like Los Angeles and New York City during those years. Today, that situation is rare thanks to the technological advances that have been made over the years. Let's keep up the good work. For Racc TV, I'm Jaden McDougall.
Now that we're in the final weeks of the school year, we are one step closer to receiving our yearbooks and getting them signed. To those who haven't bought theirs yet, there's still time. Whether you forgot to buy it, thought you bought it but didn't, or simply just didn't get around to it until now, there are still a few books available, but not for long. If you would like to secure your copy now, go to My Payments Plus and purchase one there. This offer is only good while supplies last. Yearbooks will be distributed next Tuesday and Wednesday, the 23rd and 24th, here in the gym foyer. You can pick them up before school, flex time, lunch, fourth period, or after school. You must bring a photo ID to receive your yearbook, no exceptions. That ID can be a driver's license or a school ID. The yearbook is a record of your moments in high school. Order one today if you haven't. In 2027, you'll be glad you did. For Racc TV, I'm Lauren Lively.
When someone calls out your name from across the room, do you duck or do you look up and answer them with pride? Do you look like your name? Do you look like a Connor or a Madison? Our name represents us and stands for who we are. Actors and musicians are always changing their real names to market themselves better. If you had the opportunity to change your name, what would it be?
If you could change your name, what would you change it to and why?
I'd change it to Jim because that's my late grandfather's name.
I would change my name to Jean Valjean so that I could walk around and be like 24601.
24601. Caleb, because that's the most beautiful name I've ever heard.
My middle name, which is Christina. I don't know, I just don't really like my first name, Maya.
I would change it to Rihanna because she's bad.
Idris Mangal, because I've always wanted to be a big, strong man.
Neil Carpenter.
I'd change it to Wayne because of the alliteration with my last name and because I like the way it sounds.
Alice, because everybody calls me Alice in Wonderland.
Tyler Jackson, because he's amazing.
It would have to be Cash Money because Cash Money.
Barbara Streisand, so I could be Barbara Streisand because she is the best.
Jimmy John Johnson because, I don't know, it's fun.
Legally, we are pretty much stuck with the names we are born with. While most people are fine with their real names, some people prefer to go by something else. For example, will you be going to the next Stephanie Germanotta concert? That's Lady Gaga. For Racc Tv, I'm Alexandria McDougall, also known as Allie.
Remember that video that we made at the end of the school year last year? Well, we're doing one again. This year, the Frisco High School lip dub will be to the song 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. This lip dub will take place Monday during flex time. Be sure to check your clubs and organizations for what you plan to do for your specific group. We'll have an all-new route this year that will follow. The route will start in the front of the school, make its way through the rotunda and through the band hall. It'll go through the auditorium, and then out of the auditorium doors, across the parking lot to the B hall doors. Then we will go up the B stairs, down upstairs W hall to D hall, down D to A. Then we'll take A hall to the main stairs and go down those stairs for a long final stretch to the gym for a final shot with all students. Check the attachments on FriscoHSnews.com article for a map as well as a printed version of the route for where each group is supposed to be placed. Once the bell rings for flex time on Monday, each student will have to go to their first location as they've been assigned. If you do not have a specified location, anywhere will work. I feel like we'll really need help filling in upstairs W hall as well as the A hall stretch, both upstairs and downstairs, all the way to the gym. Once the camera passes you at your first location, you'll run the quickest route to the second, third, and so on. If you have only one location, help fill in empty space along the whole route. Ultimately, we want all the students to be in the gym by the time the camera gets to the gym. Consider running through doors, possibly by the ag building or through the other gym if you can get into the main gym quicker through that way. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. My DMs on Twitter are open, or you can send me an email. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing everyone's participation on Monday.
Hey everyone, I wanted to let you all know that this will be my last year here on campus. I have taken a new position outside the city of Frisco. I will continue to work extra jobs here in Frisco, so don't be surprised if you still see me around. I will be working the graduation ceremonies, and that will be my last assignment as a Frisco police officer. It has been my pleasure to serve and protect all of you. Please know that I will keep in touch and come visit you all. I expect nothing but the best from all of you. I do not know who your SRO will be next year, but I will help pick someone great. Please be good to whoever it is and give them a chance, even though we know they will never be as awesome as I am. I will cherish the times we all had together more than you know. Thank you for letting me see a different side of you and letting me show you a different side of me. Best of luck to you all.
Good morning, fellow raccoons, and welcome to the Weekend Weather Watch. I'm Jack Mayo.
I'm Sundress.
Speaking of the weather,
Friday will be sunny with a high of 82 and low 71.
Saturday will be sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 64.
Sunday will be sunny with a high of 81 and low of 62.
Son, aren't you a little bit out of dress code?
Don't talk to me, Jack.
I think you are.
I hate you, Kate.
Wow. Anyways, today during Flex Time, there will be a showing of The Ghost of Frisco High School in the auditorium, and on Monday, we will film the school-wide lip dub. Make sure that you find out your club's location beforehand by checking the Frisco High School News website, and you can also get a full-length version of the song available there for reference.
Next week is Teachers Appreciation Week. Show your teachers some love.
Best of luck to the orchestra and band as they are traveling to San Antonio this weekend for their spring trip. Be safe. For RACC TV, I'm Jack Mayo.
I'm Sundress.